want to do something like this, man?
Well, the reason why I want to do something like this is because ever since I was a kid, I've never had an hourly job. I've always done something that involved commission. I'm one of those type of people. I learned as a kid, a wise man once told me, working in a commission job, you dictate how much you want to make. When you work an hourly job, no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you bust your butt, the next person's getting paid the same amount, right? Well, me, that went into my head as a young kid, and that's what I love doing. My passion is selling. That's what I love to do. So I've always had, if you look at my resume, I've only had sales commission jobs, and that's it.
Okay. All right. What's the most money you've ever made in a year, Luis? Be honest on that.
The most money I've ever made in a year is probably about close to $100,000.
Okay. All right. So you've had 2 jobs at one time, so combining income. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. I was kind of partnered up with somebody to get this little body shop running, but I did it part time. So it was pretty good, but it was too much stress on me. I didn't like, working 2 jobs, but Verizon pays very well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This particular position that you're applying for, it is a 6-figure income position. I know every sales organization on the planet says that, but let me just put it this way. If you're not making a 6-figure income position here, you won't have a job here very long. So it is a 6-figure income position. Now, whether you make $100,000 a year here or $200,000 a year here is completely based on your talent. But frankly, we don't keep guys that don't make 6 figures. That's just the way it is. This industry, it's too lucrative to not make a 6-figure income gig. I just don't know how to put it any other way. So, this particular sale is a true one-call close setting, meaning you've only got about 12 to 20 minutes to spend with each person that you engage with and close them on a $300 to $1,200 product that they were not planning on buying that day. So what makes you feel like you'd fit into that role?
Well, that's kind of I'm at Verizon now. I'm currently a manager, and that's kind of the same question that I asked my reps. What are we going to do? And we're really good at training people. That's one thing I do thank Verizon for the training they gave me. But the reason why I feel like I can definitely do this is because that's what we do every day at Verizon. People come in just to pay a bill, and our job is to find out how, not only to just, help them with their bill, but how to help them, add a new line, buy something that they didn't even know they were going to come in and buy. And, one of the reasons why I feel so comfortable and, pretty positive about my selling ability is because of the structure that I use when I sell. Connecting with customers is very important. That kind of gets, breaks the ice of people and kind of breaks their shield and lets them talk to you. Then you kind of while you talk to them and you connect with them, you kind of discover what they do and what they need in a smooth way where they don't feel like they're being attacked or actually just sold. Once you can do that and you can make a customer feel like they're just a person that you're just getting information from and say, you know what? Here's what we have that actually fits everything you just told me. You told me you do this, you do that. Well, guess what? This grill here does this. I'm just giving an example with cell phones and grills, but by discovering, you can close anybody. Because in the end, they don't really just buy a product as a product. It's going to do its job. It's going to do what it does. But in the end, they buy the salesperson. They buy the person that pitches the ad. They buy the face. They buy the person that made them feel good and made them make a decision that same day. That's a hard close, and that's one of the things that I was actually trying to help my team and my employees develop. That way they can do that in any environment, not just in Verizon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now this is a very, very different sale, by the way, Luis, and everything that you do and have done, you're doing it right to the T. But this is a very different sale. This is not relationship sales. In this particular sale, it's not about buying into the salesman. It's not about buying into the person, and you're right about what you're saying, but not over here. And this is what we call volume sales. This is not relationship sales at all. And we move product like you wouldn't believe. And so I'll explain that process a little bit more, but let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about here, just to kind of throw a curveball at you, just so you understand what I'm saying. In this particular sale, you might look the customer in the eyes maybe twice during the whole sale. It's very different, very interesting, but it works. And so that's just something to kind of put your mind at, like, oh, okay, that is different. You know, my whole life I've been taught to, you know, look the customer in the eye and really, you know, look at their posture and their inflection and all, you know, all the different body language and all the different things, right? This is completely different. And in fact, so much so it's, you know, it's a difficult transition for a lot of salespeople to do it. But those that can will make more money than you could have ever imagined in a space like this. Now, this is also a relentless hardcore close, probably more so than what you're used to. And, you know, we do it very professionally with pure integrity, by the way, but we push the envelope with the customer. And some might say we cross that fine line. You know, no doesn't mean no to us over here. And in fact, I like to say, to a degree, we make them take them. And so that's the type of sale this is. So I know a lot of salesmen out there and women that don't like to sell that way because, frankly, they don't like to be sold that way themselves. And that's what this is. So how do you feel about the hardcore close?
That's what I'm all about. Honestly, working at Verizon, working at my job now, I have to step back because I can be too aggressive. And the person that told me about the job is the person that told me you should do it, you should apply because, you know, I worked with his wife and he told me you have that attitude you need, that hard close, that aggressive mentality, that aggressive sales pitch, that aggressive just being out there and being aggressive, and no means no means to me it doesn't really mean no. It just means I need more information. I need more, you know. And I don't ever take, you know, the first 3 or 4 no's, you know. And that's why I was told I was too aggressive. But it sounds to me like that would be the perfect environment for me, just because of you know, like I said, it's not new to me. I've been doing sales for a very long time, and that's what I love doing.
Good. Okay. Well, there are a couple of things here then. I'm not going to go into my usual. I'm going to hit just the hardest points here just because I do feel that you are a seasoned sales professional. There's going to be some things here, though, that frankly will be very, very hard for anybody. That's what I say. So when I say for you, I really mean for anybody to adjust to. And this is just a completely different industry. This is just how the game works over here. Number one, you're by yourself. Okay? And because of the way that Costco runs this operation, you are required to be inside of that Costco, Luis, from before they open those doors to the public in the morning, and you are inside of that Costco until the last customer walks out those doors at night, whatever time zone it is. There's no sneaking out because I forgot to get something done at home, and it's got to just take 10 minutes if I run and then I'll be back and nobody will notice. No. I mean, you are inside of that Costco, responsible until the last customer walks out those doors at night. Very, very demanding 10 days outside there in that Costco. Now, before I continue forward with what I'm talking about, so there's no confusion here, which position did you apply for, just to be very clear?
I applied for the outside sales position.
Okay, so we're talking about the right thing here, okay? And so you're going to be on your feet on solid concrete for 10 plus hours a day for 10 days straight. There's no stool to sit up on when it's slow. There's no chair to sit in when it's slow. You're not leaning up against our product, right? When frankly, to be honest with you, it can be sometimes just that slow inside of Costco. And so you're kind of seen more as a lone star sales ranger out there, if you will, hustling on your feet the entire time making sales happen. You're going to be required to go from a standing position to a kneeling position every single sales pitch that you give. Again, it's required. It's part of our sales pitch. And so you're going to be doing that, I'm going to say more along the lines of 60 to 160 plus times a day. Standing, kneeling, right? You've got to be able to do that without waiver, without any issues now or into the future. Very, very physically demanding gig. This job, a couple of things here that'll be very, very different, I think, personally, for you, and maybe not. But This position requires what we call the trifecta, the sales trifecta. There's really 3 different types of salespeople in this world. First, you've got your sales initiators. They're the go-getters, full of life, ambition, drive, tenacious. They'll meet and greet and stop and talk to everybody, the hustlers, if you will. Then you've got your cold callers, the guys and gals willing to dial for dollars, right? In a B2B situation, great at getting past the gatekeepers, the door knockers. And then, of course, we have our sales closers, right? Deserving of everything in life, right? Been told our whole lives we can, quote unquote, sell ice to Eskimos, right? But closers that are just closers, they will generally run as far and fast away from having to cold call as humanly possible. And here at Traeger, Luis, you have to be all 3. And if you're not all 3 of those, you won't make it. You won't make it 4 hours. And I just can't emphasize that enough. And every salesman and woman out there knows very well whether they are truly all 3 of those or not. Now, there's nothing wrong with not being all 3. But over here at Traeger, you've got to be all 3. There's no warming up into it, maybe after a couple weeks I'll warm up into it. No, not over here, man. There's no time. And so you know very well yourself as I'm talking about this whether you are truly all 3 or not. So when I say the words cold calling, or when you're looking at a job description and it says, make 150 cold calls a day, and you're like, when hell freezes over, I promise you won't make it here. When I say the words hardcore close, and if that makes you cringe, and I know we already talked about that, but if that were to make you cringe even just a little bit, you won't make it here. And because we've seen some of the best sales closers come over here from their respective industry, and Costco eats them up and spits them out 4 or 5 hours in. And then the question is, well, why? Why? Couldn't be that bad, right? Well, because of the nature of the sale. So imagine here with me, you're standing there at the end of an aisle at Costco, and you've got all those Costco members walking back and forth past you. The majority of this position, Luis, I'm going to say 80+% of this position is stopping those people dead in their tracks. You stopping them, not them coming up to you and going, well, tell me about this. I saw you guys here about 3 months ago. Tell me about it. Looks interesting. Those days are long gone where the new product rolls into town and everybody gets excited and wants to come ask you questions about it. Gone. Ended about 6 years ago. And so that's why these supposed closers fail over here, is because to them, it's no different than cold calling. They hate it. Okay? Well, yeah, you're not dialing for dollars by any means, but this is the purest form of cold calling in a live and real setting that you're ever going to get thrown into. Stopping these people dead tracks as they're coming up the aisle. That's not for everybody. I can tell you that right now.
No.
And so hopefully you're really visualizing what I'm saying here. I mean, this is relentless, stopping these people as they're coming up. And that falls into the next category, what I'm about to talk about here. This is critical. And unfortunately, the majority of salespeople fall into this category. And so much so that, frankly, you probably do or have. And all I'm going to say is this. If you do, which you most likely do, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm okay with that, and you can't flip the switch like that, you won't make it over here. You won't make it 4 days. And here's what it is, okay? I want you to imagine with me. You're at Costco. You've pulled somebody out of the aisle. You've got them into your sales pitch. You're going over the features, advantages, and benefits of our product with them, okay? Now, halfway through your sales pitch, you're emotionally invested, by the way, at this point. You take a look over your shoulder, and you realize that the person you were just pitching to walked right off on you halfway through your sales pitch. No regard to you whatsoever, just walked right off on you. Basically, you realize that you were talking to yourself for about 3 to 4 seconds. Okay? Now, what the normal salesman or woman's going to do at this moment is they're going to take a look over their shoulder to the right in disappointment. They're going to take a look over their shoulder to the left and back behind them because they want to see who else just saw that somebody walked off, hurt their ego a little bit.
Yep.
Then they're going to try to collect themselves, stand up, shuffle some things around, try to blow it off. take a deep breath, and then they're going to give it that good old college try again. So they're going to walk back out over the aisle of Costco, but because of what just happened to them, or something similar, that just confirmed to them everything they've already always known about sales. And now that sales rep is going to walk back over to the aisle of Costco, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen this. They're going to start to profile which of those customers coming up the aisle he or she feels most comfortable making that connection with. Meanwhile, 15, 20, 30 people just walk past them. And here's the thought process. And this is pretty much straight across the board when we're dealing with this problem. And here's what it is. I've been in sales long enough to know that those type of people never buy. It doesn't matter where I go in sales, those type of people never buy. And, too old. Well, that guy looks like he just rolled out of bed, not wasting my time there.
He's cheap. He's broke.
There's a nice couple.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's a nice family. They're the ones with the money anyway. As soon as they get up here, done, in the bag, tailored just for me, right? Now here's the problem with that, okay? Well, first of all, every salesman and woman out there knows very well whether they're a profiler or not. You know very well over the years of doing business now whether you've become a profiler or not. And the problem with it is this. Even if you're that good, and Luis, you seem like a pretty damn fine sales professional, but even if you're that good, to where you could cherry pick those people coming up the aisle. That's what they call it, cherry picking, okay? The problem over here is that you won't move enough volume for us to even want to keep you here. And that's the problem with it. So here at Traeger, we close everybody. We really do. At least we try, right? It doesn't matter what they look like, what clothes they're wearing, culture, ethnicity, race, religion, political background, disability, age. I don't care if that person looks like they just rolled out of bed. We stop and close everybody. And if you think about that, though, on a high level, that's actually extremely emotionally exhausting. All the different walks of life that you're going to run into out there across this nation, and you've got to be good enough, and hell, maybe I shouldn't even say good enough, willing enough to want to go to the level of that person, whatever that is to you, and close them, okay? So, I guess what I'm saying again is you've got to be able to handle that, okay? Now, it's performing at a completely different level. Now, I'm only going to hit you with a couple more things here, and I'll give you some time. Let's see here. The being gone factor. Let me just put it this way. I don't say this proudly, but this industry is very different. And I've missed every single one of my kids' birthdays for 5 years in a row, and I have 4 kids. And for some reason, every single time I got my damn schedule, it landed on their birthday. Now, obviously, I celebrated the week before or the week after, right? But I've missed anniversaries with my wife. I've missed cruises and parties. I missed being the best man at 2 friends' weddings. That's just what this is. Now, I got to be honest with you here. What I'm about to talk about next, I try to have empathy with people with this, but with the schedule that you have, if you do the math on this, you get like 6 months off out of the year doing a gig like this.
That's what I was going to tell you. I have no...
Making this type of money, there's not a whole lot of gigs out there that are going to pay what we pay, plus give you the lifestyle that we give you. So if you can't work your life around that, I don't know what to tell you. It's a pretty sweet gig. And, but it's just not for everybody. So the point is, your schedule is your schedule, and we count on you for that. It's not this, and the reason why it's so strict like that, because it's not like, well, gosh, you guys got 90 sales reps. I'm sure you can find one to fit my spot. Actually, we can't, because the reason why you're placed at that Costco was based off of your talent. It was based off of your performance. And so I'm not going to stick a $25,000 a show guy if you're a $70,000 show guy in a $70,000 store. It's not going to happen. So that's why we count on you to fulfill your responsibilities. And obviously, if there's some crazy emergency, yeah, we're going to make some magic happen. But that's it. Now, this other thing that I want to hit real quick, this could be a big one for you just because you're so close to what I'm about to talk about. We're a guest in Costco's house, okay? And we are the fastest growing roadshow in the history of Costco. So we're not about to mess this up with Costco. So not only do you have Traeger's policies and procedures to abide by, but you've got Costco's policies and procedures to abide by, which is like you're double whammied on the policies and procedures. And Luis, frankly, this is a deal breaker for a lot of people. It's very interesting what I'm about to say here. But when you're at Costco, and you could totally justify yourself in this, I mean 100% to you, clear and free, justifiable. Like, what's the big deal, guys? There wasn't a person 3 miles near me at the time. I could take a picture of this place right now for you, right? Type of mentality. And you decide to pull out your cell phone and respond to even a quick text message. Think about that. Text message. Facebook post. Words with friends to keep your sanity. Email. Or even take that quick phone call. You don't get to do that at Costco. And I don't care who you are. That's tough as nails. Especially with the way that instant access to communication has become such an important part of our lives. You're living it right now. You don't get to do that at Costco. I mean, so I guess what I'm saying with that is that you can't leave home at home, whatever that is, or if home can't leave you alone when you're working those hours at Costco, 10 plus hours a day for 10 days straight. You won't make it here, okay? So really think about that. And let's see here. Last thing here. This is the pitch industry, okay? And the reason why they call this the pitch industry, not to sound belittling to you at all by any means, but it is because you are delivering a sales pitch. It is a word for word, perfectly memorized, presented and delivered sales presentation to every single person that you talk to. No variance, no deviance, no coming up with your own one-liners because you're just that smooth of a sales cat. And you know what? That's a hard pill for a lot of salespeople to swallow. It is. Why? For 2 reasons. Number 1, it is hard work. It is taking even a 3-minute sales pitch, which is what this is, but words that aren't yours, that have been psychologically put together for a reason, because it works. But having that become a part of who you are, literally, and then being able to transition that to the end receiver so that it feels natural. But here's the key. Real to them is no easy task. And then the second reason why is I sometimes get this. You know what, Mr. Cromer, I'm not a robot. You know, I'm not a machine. I don't want to sound canned. Did you even take a look at my resume? I'm a real professional. I'm the real deal. You know, in fact, I used to get an email or a phone call after this that used to go somewhere along the lines of this. You know, Mr. Cromar, I'm a professional salesman or woman of 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and nobody scripts me, and I sell off the cuff, and I could sell snow to Eskimos, and I'll show you, young man, I'll show you and your company a thing or two about sales. You just throw me out there and let me do my thing. And it's like, look, we're not saying that you couldn't go out there and sell a few. In fact, if you're half of what you're telling me you are right now, you could probably go out there and sell a few. But you will not move the volume. And this is proven that a professional pitchman or woman will move, that professionally hone his or her own craft and continually master this week in and week out. Okay? So that's what I'm hiring for. This is a profession. This is a career. This is hardcore sales. This is real money. This isn't, hopes and dreams money. This is legit. I've worked my ass off for it money. So bottom line is, it's not sexy by any means. Being a Verizon manager, that's kind of sexy. But, you're standing in the mall or in a Costco selling grills. and it's not sexy. And so I know that's a lot to take in. I know that's a lot to feedback. I appreciate your patience through that. That's what this is, and that's what I'm looking for. So if there's anything there that's not your cup of tea, it's not your flavor, I actually full-heartedly respect that, but this is just what this industry is. So that being said, hopefully you've taken a good self-inventory, because we won't take anything less. How do you feel about all that?
Oh, honestly, I'm one of those very outspoken people. I never hold anything in, and honestly, I won't waste your time, and I won't. And I'm sorry for sounding so blunt and direct, but I won't waste mine. And the thing is, I've thought about this over a year. I've done research with about your company. I've talked to actual reps on live floors in Costco's, asked them questions. One of my friends is actually an employee. He told me he's actually a pretty good salesman.
Who is he?
I think he's a manager now.
Who?
Huh?
Who?
One of my friends is, I think he just became a manager in Texas. His name's, Joey.
Oh,
Bruel?
Mr. Bruel. Love Joey. We started the exact same time here.
Well, Joey's the person who told me about it a year ago. And, I've been with Verizon since. And since you've told me, I just did my research. I kept, going out to Costco, talking to the people standing on the booth and telling them what they think, what they like about it, what they don't like, how the income is. I mean, I'm pretty direct. I don't just do things to do things. I do things that I've, studied, that I've researched. And this is the reason why I even applied. Because, based on, my lifestyle now, what I want to do, what my goals are, traveling, getting to meet new people, going to new places where I don't know anyone, where I could just build complete new relationships. That's what I want to do. I'm not tied down to anything here in the Bay Area. As a matter of fact, I'm open to move to anywhere in the U.S., So, that sounded to me like a great opportunity to do everything that I had planned for over a year now.
Good.
So,
Good.
Verizon isn't provide that for me anymore. It taught me a lot, but it's time for me to move forward with something that I love doing. And that's hardcore sales. That trifecta you told me about, that's exactly how I feel about sales. I've done it all, from B2B to, cold calling, getting past that doorkeeper, to, getting to that person who's trying to get to that decision maker over a cold call where they've never met you. You don't know who the heck you're talking to. All you know is what they hear and what you tell them. I've done that. Being that go-getter at a mall kiosk, I was one of the best reps doing that, Also, the last one, which is a hard closer, I was, and before I became a manager, that's the reason why I became a manager. Not only was I able to close and be that hardcore closer, but I was able to develop people around me. That's why I was offered the position, So you telling me all these things just make you say, wow, you're just describing the perfect position for me, because that's what I love doing. It's not even that I'm trying to find a new job. I'm trying to find a new career. I'm trying to find a company that's gonna make me happy, meaning, travel, meet new people, learn. And you know what? I'm one of those people who, if I start something, I want to be the best. At Verizon, I won Winner Circle. I've won Best of the Best. I mean, with the most, the highest awarded awards you can get at Verizon. I've done that, but I feel like I need something more. And after, talking to Joey, after talking to most of the people that work out in the field, out in Costco's, and after looking at my life and saying, what do you really want to do, Luis? What do you really want to do with your life now? This really fit everything that I really wanted to do. So I have no doubt in the mind that everything you told me is very important. It does sound like a deal breaker for most people, but I'm not like most people. It sounds to me like this is the next decade of my life. So I'm looking for a new career that's going to make me happy, like I'm pretty sure you are.
Awesome. Yeah, it's amazing, and this is a place where you can come and stay and make a six-figure income year in and year out for the next 20 years if you want, Luis. And but you just got to be damn good. And it's not that I try to come across so hardcore in my interview. Is there's very, very few salespeople out there that are really the trifecta. Very few. Everybody thinks they are. They want to believe they are, but they're not. And we can't afford to just hire wannabes. I mean, this is legit hardcore sales, and I love you to death already, man. I feel it from you. I appreciate the time you've taken to want to come on board and to really evaluate your life. And you know what? I just think after what I'm hearing, I think this could be an incredible fit. You're going to have to really believe in what we're going to teach you and really soak it in. It's very different. It's a very different sale. But if you can do that, you'll come over here and you'll make more money than you could ever imagine, and along with that lifestyle.
Well,
and let's say
what you're saying to me is enough.
You want to switch from Costco to a store and move somewhere across the nation? Yeah, that's going to be extended to you as long as you got your numbers where they need to be. It'll be yours. We move very, very fast. So here's what I want to do then, Luis. Let's get this process going. Let's get you in our doors and let's get you into the system. Let's get you hired. So what I do next, it is a little bit of a process. We do what's called a pre-audition, meaning you're going to get my sales script tonight, and you have until Wednesday the 8th of May to have it perfectly memorized, verbatim, memorized as written. And then we'll jump back up here on ooVoo on the 8th. You'll pitch me our pitch. It takes 5 minutes. I'll record it. We'll review it as a team. And if everything goes well, which I just couldn't see why it wouldn't, I will fly you here to Utah on Monday the 13th. And I will keep you here until Friday the 17th to finish the interview process, meaning that time spent here in Utah is not paid for, okay? I do take care of your flight, I take care of your hotel, shuttle you from the hotel to our facility every day, feed you off the Traeger twice a day while you're here, but it is to finish the interview process. If you are selected at the end of that week, again, why I just couldn't see why not, as long as you do your job, we will send you out into the field the very next week with a field trainer. You'll get paid $150 a day for training, not a lot, but enough. And then if the field trainer comes back and says, yeah, this guy's legit, let's cut him loose, we'll send you, we'll cut you loose, 100% commission, and it's go time. So it is a little bit of a process, but I guess the question that I have is that a process you can work with?
Definitely.
Awesome. Okay, you're a stud. So
Definitely.
You're going to get an email from me tonight. You're going to get an email from Jay Lene, our Director of Corporate Training, with the script. And you'll get an email from Allison, one of my assistants. Just respond to the emails accordingly. And I will see you, my friend, again on the 8th of May.
At what time?
I'll just respond to the email accordingly. It'll have, a bunch of bullets, and just fill it out and send it back.
Perfect.
Okay.
I will be waiting for your email.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Bye.
You too. Thank you.